Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
A very big welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living this beautiful morning. It's so wonderful to be together with you. We'll start with some songs. I'm Sarah, and here's Yvette and Doug, and I invite you to stand if that's comfortable.
I am the center of creation. I am a seed planted in the stillness. I am the center of creation. Fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. I am the center of creation. I am a tree rooted in fullness. I am the center of creation. Fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. Oh, I am the center of creation. I am complete, living in wholeness. I am the center of creation. Fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. I am the center of creation. I am the seed planted in stillness. I am the center of creation. Fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. I see joy, I see peace, I see goodness surrounding me. I see love in every breath I breathe. I see God in everything. I see happiness, I see freedom. I see the beauty that lives in me. I see perfection in what life brings. I see God in everything. Oh, I feel joy, I feel peace, I feel goodness surrounding me. I feel love in every breath I breathe. I feel God in everything. I feel happiness, I feel freedom. I feel the beauty that lives in me. I feel perfection in what life brings. I feel God in everything. I know joy, I know peace, I know goodness surrounding me. I know love in every breath I breathe. I know God in everything. I know happiness, I know freedom. I know the beauty that lives in me. I know perfection in what life brings. I know God's in everything. I know God's in everything.
Beautiful ladies and gentlemen, and you guys all sound real good too. Good morning, welcome. I'm Belinda Hoshar, and it's my joy to be with you today here at the Center for Spiritual Living in the center of Las Cruces, in the heart of Las Cruces. We're more than just a Sunday service. We're a growing heart-centered community founded in spiritual principle and open-hearted love. Our vision is a world in loving partnership for the good of all. That starts here with how we show up for one another and how we show up in this community. Our vision, yep. If you're here for the first time, welcome. We hope you've already received one, but if not, there's a welcome packet for you. It has a little more information about us and a chance to sign up for our newsletter. You'll want to do that because there's lots going on around here, and you'll hear a little bit, probably a lot this morning about it, but there's more, so please sign up. And to those of you joining us online, thank you for being here. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you. What else is happening? So much goodness is unfolding here. Check that newsletter, talk to one of us after service. We'd love to get to know you better and share what we're up to. So announcements for today, the short list. We're adding to our tithe team. A few members. That group is the group that prayerfully and thoughtfully selects local nonprofits for us to contribute to on a monthly basis as we tithe to the community. As we prepare for the new year, Meg will be consulting with the team to bring in fresh ideas and community connections. The team may also help shape our future service projects and sponsored organizations, deepening our impact in the larger community. If this sounds like something you'd enjoy being a part of, I might be a part of that. Talk with Yvette to learn more. That's Yvette. Also, coming up, we have a special weekend with Dr. Will Tuttle. If you're not familiar, we're delighted to welcome him. He is the author of the World Peace Diet. He'll be here for a weekend of music and inspiration. Saturday the 29th, he's going to offer us a piano concert from 4 to 5:30 p.m. And I've heard a bit of it, and you will too here in a second. It's really lovely. And then Sunday, he'll be our guest speaker and musician and provide a workshop after the fact from 12:30 to 2:30. That workshop is titled The Keys to Developing Your Intuition. Both events are on a love offering basis, so bring a friend and join us. Now here's a short clip. Oh, or not.
Well, never mind.
Trust me, it sounds great.
We'll do it next week.
It's a wonderful way to kick off the holiday season. You can find more details in the newsletter and even more on his posters in the social hall. We hope you'll join us for this uplifting weekend. That's next weekend. And speaking of next weekend, no, we won't speak of that yet. It's our Sunday, December 5th. We're celebrating 49 and good times. We've got a sign-up sheet in the lobby, 3 sign-up sheets, in fact, where you can let us know what you'll bring. Maybe a side dish, some burger toppings, or if you'd rather, you can contribute a few dollars towards the cost of burgers, hot dogs, veggie burgers, and buns. We want to have fun, so please sign up, provide some goodness, and after service, we'll gather for a birthday cookout and potluck. Yes, and there will be a cake. So let's make this 49th birthday a joyful celebration of community connection and heart. And speaking of birthdays, Kay is having a birthday. Happy birthday, Kay. Yay. And Kelly has generously brought a cake for her and would like us to share in after service today. So please stick around and have a piece of cake. And finally, for today's announcements, Janice is requesting that we could bring in some baked goods on Friday. That's this coming Friday, the 28th, between 1:30 and 4.
2 weeks.
That's what I meant.
And so is Will Tuttle, 2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks from now on Friday the 28th from 1:30 to 4 p.m. So bring your best baked goods, drop them off here between 1:30 and 4. We'll be having the bookstore and other fine folks are having a pop-up sidewalk sale, and those will be used to collect some funds for the center. So we'll be bringing something between 1:30 and 4:30 on Friday the 28th. Thank you. Here at the center, we believe in the power of prayer, what we call spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. If there's something on your heart today, there is a prayer request card in the back of the seats. You can always also contact us online, CSL-LasCruces.org. Go ahead and fill out that prayer request. Drop it in the offering plate as it goes by, or in the back of the sanctuary in the prayer box. This request will be lovingly prayed upon by our prayer team, by a group of ministers and licensed practitioners from all 4 New Thought communities here in Las Cruces. If you'd like a one-on-one prayer today after service, look for a practitioner with a turquoise stole, and they'll be happy to pray with you after service. We also love good news, so if you have something that you'd like to share for us to celebrate with you, please put that on the gratitude card and drop it in either of those places as well. Now it is time for song, silence, and prayer.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Let's take a moment to turn within and feel the presence of Spirit right here, right now. There's one life, one power, one love moving through all creation and through each of us. We're grateful for this time together, for the words that will inspire us, the music that will lift us, and the loving community that supports and strengthens us. We trust that everyone receives exactly what they need in this sacred space today. With gratitude and joy, we say together, and so it is. Today's reading is from the website thought.is and is titled, Why the Parts of Us We Hide Away End Up Owning Us. Yeah. It's by Jamie Varone. I used to tell a lot of half-truths, not on purpose. I just didn't know how to be honest about who I was, or what I needed, or what felt right to me. I spent a lot of time demanding that my feelings be wrong, and I'd stuff them down, and they'd come right back into my throat as I tried to sleep. Here's the thing we don't realize about the parts of ourselves we hide away from the world. Those secrets, those little half-truths, they end up owning us. We define ourselves by the things we are not saying, by the things we keep on our heart but don't let out. We become consumed, not by what we are doing, but what we are not doing, not by what we are saying, but by what we are not saying. Our secrets, our little betrayals, our little betrayals, our I'm fines when we're not fine. These end up becoming much more than small momentary infractions. They multiply. Each of these betrayals leads us further and further from being true to ourselves. When we empty our hearts of fears and those feelings we truly do not want to be a feeling, but are feeling, what is there to protect ourselves from? When we have nothing to hide, what can be used against us? When we are no longer owned by the secrets and betrayals and hidden parts of ourselves, then wouldn't it follow that we would be free? We spend a lot of time hiding ourselves away in one way or another. We try to be people we are not. We chase after things without ever examining why we're chasing in the first place. We live on autopilot. We survive. Yet we must practice emptying our hearts. We can no longer be owned by what we're hiding away. We must face the world with radical empty-heartedness. This is the only way of being authentic. It is when we become empty-hearted that we can attract into our lives that which is meant to be there, that which will bring forth what we need to have brought forth. Once we can face the world completely defenseless, empty-hearted, with nothing to lose, nothing to be afraid of losing, no identity too strongly held, no secrets, no betrayals, that is when the magic happens. That's when we start cultivating a life of richness that has very little to do with money. It is deepness, deeper relationships, stronger love, more truth, more knowing. The lessening of that panic state of being found out, being seen. That is when it gets good, right at the empty-hearted point. When you take what's inside and turn it out for the world to see. When you are immortalized and invincible, not from death, but from fear. Jeff? Now some music from Jeff Gee. Thank you.
This song was inspired by Rumi. Hope you like. This is called Love. Like fish that wonder where the ocean is, so many hearts in search of love. Devote to searching where devotion is, vow to never get enough. While deep inside of everything there is infinity. Lifetime spent inventing locks and searching for the key. Well, we all love, we don't have to acquire love. We all love, we don't have to acquire love. So much attention to the barriers and all things that divide. Inventing problems and solutions while the candle burns inside. Well, we all love, we don't have to acquire love. We all love, we don't have to acquire love. Love doesn't come around, it's always here. Always was, always is, always will be. When we see that we all love, we don't have to acquire love. We all love, we don't have to acquire love.
Good morning. I have to situate myself here as usual. My name is Yvette Trujillo. I am a practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces, and it is such an honor to be here with you today. Thank you for having me. Put this little guy here. Stay. All right. So, I have to breathe for myself because this is a sensitive topic. I think it's a sensitive topic for a lot of people. It's a sensitive topic for me. And I just kind of want to hold us all gently as we step into this exploration of the edges of our honesty. And this month, we follow the themes from Centers for Spiritual Living. And this month, we are talking about loving the unlikable. And so really what I'm trying to ask today or talk about today is loving the unlikable within me, within each of you, loving the thing that you might not like. So last time that we were together, we talked about the sacred side. I remember that. So we were like shooing away the things that you don't prefer, right? That instinct to swat them away. The things that are out there in the world that annoy us, that surprise us, that are unexpected. When things don't go the way that we think they should out there. So today we're turning the sacred attention inward. We're going to be looking within ourselves toward the parts of ourselves that we keep tucked away in the attic of our mind. Imagine if you saw the image, it's such a perfect image for the talk today. It is a couple of stacked dusty boxes, I'd imagine, in an attic. And that's how I think about those aspects of ourselves that we would call the shadow of ourselves, that we tuck away and put in the attic, that they're dusty, and we push them off to the corner back there where we don't revisit often. And yet, even though we think that they're up in the attic, actually, we are engaging with them on a very regular basis. We just may not be conscious of it. Father Richard Rohr, the founder of the Center for Action and Contemplation, says, "The shadow is where we put the parts of ourselves we do not want or cannot deal with." That's what our shadow is. Our shadow work, however, isn't about us being broken and trying to fix ourselves. It's really about remembering who we really are, right? There's nothing to fix. It's about remembering that holy center of ourselves, the divine perfection of ourselves, the parts that we have hidden but that are waiting for the light. Carl Jung says, "I would rather be whole than good." That can be kind of shocking, right? I would rather be whole than good. But good, if you think about it, good still has some judgment in it, right? Something performative in it. Oh, be a good girl. Be a good boy, right? Who did you hear that from? I heard that from my parents, from my teachers. I heard that in church, most definitely. So when we think of being good, what does that mean? And so the invitation from Carl Jung is, I would rather be whole than be good. And the question is, the deep, deep question is, can we trust in our essential goodness? Can we trust in our essential goodness so much so that we would be willing to dive into the dark, shadowy, dusty places of our being, of our consciousness, of the way that we interact with the world, and trust that we would come out good, essentially good, which is really whole. And so in order to do this work, I think it's really important for us to be able to lean into that trust. Lean into that idea of our essential goodness, our essential wholeness. So if we dive in and are aspiring for our wholeness, that there is an essential part of that wholeness that is good. If you are a whole expression of God, you are indeed the good of God. And I think that that's a really important part for us to remember as we have this conversation. So, what do we hide? What do we hide? We often imagine the shadow as very dramatic and scary, right? Oh, it's this horrible thing, but really, most of the time it holds very, very ordinary and very human things. For example, jealousy. Jealousy. When someone else succeeds and something in you tightens. I know culturally for me, something that is commonly said, ay, ¿cómo te crees tan buena? Well, you think you're so good, huh? You think you're so good? Or it must be nice. Must be nice that you have it so good. Or, I wonder what they did in order to have all that, right? So those are some of the judgments, the projections that we have when we engage with people that might have more than we do, or what ultimately we're saying inside is, why not me? Why can't that be me that has or experiences or is able to express a certain way? Or impatience. When someone moves slowly and your irritation feels bigger than the situation. I drive home almost every week to go see my mama on the farm, and I go Highway 28. And invariably, there is either someone who's driving really slowly on the part where I can't pass, there are bicyclists who are rudely taking up more road space than they should, or a tractor pulls out right in front of me, and I get so upset. Why? What is that big experience, that big feeling? It might give us a clue into something that is hiding in the shadows, in the recesses of our minds. Projection is the shadow speaking, but using someone else's name. And we heard this one earlier in the reading. I'm fine. I'm fine. When we're not. The smile that you put on your face to keep people from worrying or to keep people from knowing. Fear of being a fraud. The quiet dread that says, if people really knew me, ... You fill in the blank. Or believing that we're not enough. The whisper that your gifts or present don't matter. And so we shrink. And we don't say yes when we really want to. Ernest Holmes, the founder of this philosophy in the book, The Science of Mind, says, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, if we find unloveliness in others, it is because unloveliness is a strong element in ourselves. And it's not a guilt trip, it's an invitation to take a look, to take a closer look at what it is that we're feeling, what it is that we're experiencing and thinking about ourselves, right? Because we can't change the world out there. We start here with ourselves. And if we have unconscious beliefs, shadows that are holding us hostage, that are keeping us small, that are keeping us from expressing the fullness of our divinity, then it behooves us to take a peek. Even though it's not one of the funnest things within this philosophy, I will say. About 25 years ago, my life changed rather unexpectedly, almost overnight. I became really, really sick. So much so that I couldn't sit upright for very long. I could not think clearly. I couldn't process information. And I couldn't really speak more than 1 or 2 sentences. And sometimes it was just a mm-hmm, mm-mm. That was it. That was all I had available. Eventually, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And fibromyalgia is an invisible disorder that comes and that goes without warning. And that invisibility became a huge part of my shadow. On the outside, well, actually, sometimes in reality, I was my full, brilliant, wonderful self, firing on all cylinders, having ideas, talking to people, achieving, acquiring, doing, climbing the ladder, doing all the things. And at other times, it looked like, it appeared on the outside that that's what was happening. But on the inside, I was in pain. And I was exhausted. And I was terrified. I lost 2 jobs because I couldn't keep up. One of them, I loved that job. And I carried so much shame that I tried to hide everything, even from myself. That is what I discovered as one of my shadows. And there's a huge cost to hiding. There's a huge cost to tucking something away from the world so that it doesn't see. Hiding takes so much energy, right? Can you feel that for yourself? Have you ever felt like you were hiding something? Pretending that we're fine when we're not, overworking, worrying, performing, collapsing, blaming others, blaming ourselves. It's exhausting to hide. It's exhausting to hide. The voice of shame says, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me?" But the good news is that the voice of spirit says, "I am still here. What's wrong with me? I am still here." So because fibromyalgia wasn't visible, I lived in constant fear of being found out. I felt like a fraud when I applied for a new job because I knew that I was more than qualified. When I wasn't feeling badly, I was magnificent. Absolutely, I could do that job. Hallelujah. And I felt like a liar. Because I knew that when it hit, I was out. I pushed myself until I collapsed, then blamed myself for collapsing. I had intense anxiety and panic attacks, not just from the illness, but from pretending that I was okay when I wasn't. Rest is not a luxury. Rest is resistance. That is a quote from a really important book that I read by Tricia Hershey, Rest is Resistance, a Manifesto. So how do we begin to transform our shadows from something we dislike or hate, something that we have an intense push from, right? The SWAT of I don't like this, I don't want this. How do we begin to shift from hating to accepting? How do we shift from accepting to liking? Whew. How do we shift from liking to loving what we have seen as unlikable, unbearable, undesirable, unwanted? How do we do that in a world that very clearly tells us what is unlikable and undesirable in the world. We get told all the time. It's not like we just made this stuff up. We hear it in our families of origin, from our blessed parents who did the very best that they could and learned from their parents and their society at the time, right? From our teachers, from our school, from just our social construct. We hear what is undesirable and what is acceptable. So the first thing we want to do is acknowledge. Acknowledge it. Name it. And I want to warn you, at least for me, this can come with a lot of a lot of shame when you first start looking at the thing that you've been hiding. Because why are you hiding it? Because it doesn't feel good. Because we don't feel good about it. We don't want that to be who we are. We somehow think that that thing is outside of God. God is all there is, period. God is all there is. And so the thing that we are pushing away, when we pull it out into the light, when we take it out of the shadow and we bring it into the light and we look at it, it can feel ooky. It can feel not so great. Sit with it. Beloveds, sit with it. Be patient with yourself and this process. Remember that when you open that dusty box, Spirit is sitting beside you. You are not doing it alone. So for me, I got curious in my experience. And the turning point came finally when I stopped fighting my body long enough to listen. Now, let me be very clear. I'm saying this as if this happened and I got through it and it's all great. The reality is that when we go through big, significant things in our life, and so many times you'll hear like, oh my God, I thought I did this already. I thought I did this work already. Why am I facing this thing again? Well, you're facing the thing again, but you're not the same person as you were back then. And so you're not actually doing it again. It is from a new perspective. It is from a deeper place of learning. And so I have the glorious opportunity to revisit this often. And it's okay. It's a deeper learning. And it gets faster because I've walked this path before. But when I met my shadow, when I first sat down with the shadow and I offered up compassion, I finally looked at it and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is so gross. I hate this about myself. It's really awful. And then I sat with it and I remembered that I was doing it with the divine, always with the divine. I was able to give compassion instead of judgment to that part of me that needed to be a human being, a human doing instead of a human being, that needed to produce in order to be loved and accepted, that needed, as my dad used to tell me, you need to contribute to the gross national product. You need to contribute to the world. That's the most important thing. You need to go out and be a productive member of society. My earliest memories are from being told that I needed to be a productive member of society. And so when I started to look at that and it felt gross and I sat with it and I was like, okay, well, maybe I can see it a little bit differently. Maybe I can offer it compassion instead of judgment. Something holy opened up inside of me. I realized I wasn't just dealing with illness. Yes, the illness was there, but I wasn't just dealing with that. I was dealing with a lifelong belief that my value came from what I produced, and that what I produced, I realized, and here's where the real oogie came from, ready? That what I produced was a kind of manipulation on the world and on the people around me in order to get what I wanted and to get what I needed, which was acceptance and love and success. I needed to get my value from them. And living from that place impacted everything that I did, everything that I created. And when I saw that clearly, I could finally hear what Spirit had been whispering to me the whole time. I didn't lose my value when I lost my ability to produce. I rediscovered a part of me that God had been wanting me to see. It was a wake up to see that I could produce for the joy of it, or I could not produce at all. Either way was just fine with God. My doing had been about other people, not coming from my authentic self. That's a completely different thing. Can you feel that? Like I was producing to get, I was producing to be enough, to be worthy, versus doing and being creative for the sake of it, from the wholeness and authenticity and the pureness of my being. There's a different quality in what we create when we are creating there. Not a manipulation to get. So we want to look for the gold in our shadow. The gold of one's true self is always buried under a mountain of self-rejection. Father Richard Rohr, he's so smart. And Carl Jung, one more time, the shadow is 90% pure gold. It's much easier to love gold. So as we are looking to transform our experience of our shadow, to welcome it out into the light, to brush off the dust, and to not just say, okay, you're there, or okay, I might like you, to I love you. Look for the gold. And the gold isn't necessarily like, I have this magical ability to do X and I was hiding it in the corner. It's not necessarily that. It might be like, I know where I've been operating from. That's the gold. Your wholeness, remember, is not achieved. It is remembered. This is a waking up to who you are. So look for the gold and let love meet you while you're doing this work. The moment we bring compassion to a shadow, we are met by the always present divine, not because it finally arrives, but because we finally became aware of it. We finally, can you imagine Spirit in the moment that you're like, oh, woo! Sorry, Bob. I'm so... For a moment, that divine that wanted to scream and show itself authentically in this moment didn't remember the mic. The moment we bring compassion to a shadow, we are met by the always present divine. And finally, rewrite the ruler. I was measuring myself by my father's ruler. I love my dad, so don't get that wrong. But my dad had and has a very particular ruler. And I was measuring my value and my worth up against what he saw as valuable. Rewrite the ruler. Society's ruler equals productivity is worth. Are you worthy of God's love? When we live in a society that says your productivity is your worth, Spirit's ruler is being and divine. Being and enough. Just the fact that you exist means that you are enough right now. No matter what you look like, no matter what you can or can't do, no matter what you've done or haven't done. Parker Palmer says, the soul does not want to be good, it wants to be whole. Back again to our wholeness. Can we trust that our whole self is a good self? So, what do we want to do? The call to action for us this week is notice your reactions. Notice the big ones. Oh my God, I can't believe that yada, 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 yada. When you get angry, when you get annoyed, when you get really sad. Notice and begin to ask yourself, what is that? What's behind that? And name it gently. Name it gently. And then let love in. Let the divine presence that has always been there, partnering you, waiting for the door to open. Let love meet you in this process. You don't have to walk this alone. You never do anyway. So you might as well remember and invite Spirit in. The spiritual life isn't about becoming better. It's about becoming truer. It's about becoming more real. It's about remembering your wholeness. And so I said from the beginning, this can be really hard work. It can be ooky. So why do we do it? Why would we do this? Why would we of our own volition step into this kind of work? Well, when we stop hiding the shadow stops hurting us. When we stop hiding the shadow stops hurting us. And wouldn't it just be wonderful not to hurt that way anymore? So may love meet you in the places that you've been afraid to look. Namaste. I invite the practitioners to please circle the room as we move into a time of prayer to anchor in some of what we've heard today. I know that the power of Spirit is everywhere, that the divine essence is moving through all things. I noticed it this morning in the coolness of the air, and the sun as it shone on my face as it rose up above the mountains. Eyes closed, I could still see it. The light. Eyes closed, I could still feel it. The warmth. And so I know that the presence of Spirit is always here. It is always around us, in us, through us, in every experience and at every time. And although our eyes may be closed, the truth is that does not change Spirit. God is indeed right here and right now, vibrating in the air, making itself known in these chairs and in the floor, in the technology, in the sound of my voice. The divine is right here and right now in each and every person that can hear me right now. In the inconvenient, in the joyful, in the hard, and in the blessed. God is right here and right now. And as I know that to be true, in every moment of every situation, in every person, in every spot, I can relax. And I do relax knowing that I am indeed partnered by the divine as I walk through this beautiful experience of life, that each of us walks through this beautiful experience of life that sometimes is hard, is sometimes challenging, is sometimes painful, but yet always, always we are partnered by the divine. And so knowing that to be true, I know that this week we move forward with boldness, with joy, with confidence, with vulnerability to begin to take a look at the places that we have been hiding within ourselves. And we remember indeed that God is all there is. And that there is gold in there. There is gold in each one of us. And knowing that to be true, I give great thanks. I give great thanks for this knowing that as I speak my word with deep feeling, when I surrender it, when I give it up, when I let it go, the law says, yes, my beloved, yes, and it is done. Thank you, sweet Spirit. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Jeff.
It's a little song called Infinity. Inside you and inside me, there's nothing less than infinity. Through gods of gold and gods of steel, we catch a glimpse of what we could feel. When we close our eyes, see inside, past the curtain used to hide. The fact that we're all made from grace, but it's been a choice to build the place where we compete to feel a little of the light. While inside you and inside me, there's nothing less than infinity. Inside you and inside me, there's nothing less than infinity. Oh. Inside you and inside me, there's nothing less than infinity. Through gods of gold and gods of steel, we catch a glimpse of what we could feel. When we close our eyes and see inside, past the curtain used to hide. The fact that we're all made from grace, but it's been a choice to build the place where we compete to feel a little of the light. While inside you and inside me, there's nothing less than infinity. Inside you and inside me, there's nothing less than infinity. Oh.
Jeff, are those songs your original compositions? Oh my gosh, y'all, it's so hard to write a song. That is so beautiful. And perfection for today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here as always, Jeff. All right, what are we doing now? Not that, not that. All right, now is the time to open our hearts and participate in the flow of abundance here in our beautiful community as we give to this center. We affirm that good flows freely through our lives and into our world as we participate in this offering. And in the same spirit of generosity, we extend our blessing outward here at the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces. And we share a portion of what we receive to support the greater community. So this month's 10% offering is going to Las Esperanzas Incorporated, and they provide coats and shoes for children in need in our community. And how wonderful that we can participate in something so beautiful as that. And so I invite us now to say together our community blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, in me.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And how blessed we indeed are as we get to participate in that beautiful circulation of the divine, that as I give, so do I receive. And I am so grateful today for this beautiful offering, this bountiful offering of support for not only the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces, but for the broader community. Thank you, divine. Thank you, Divine Spirit, for this opportunity to remember the truth that we are infinity. And so it is. Thank you, my friends. I got lost in that. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I got lost in that. How fantastic. So I invite you to, if you feel the call to receive prayer today, remind you that our practitioners wearing the turquoise stoles will be available for prayer after service. Please find them and avail yourselves to that support. And what are we closing with?
Let there be peace.
Fantastic. All right. And if you want to join in a circle, holding hands, if you don't, that's perfectly fine. But if you're able and willing, we can do that together we can move into that while we're singing. Let's do it.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our center, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my song of vow. To to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Beautiful. Have a wonderful week, everybody. We love you.